So today we're looking at the JT-4000 micro from Behringer, and we're asking ourselves the question, is it any good for techno? The JT-4000 is inspired by the Roland JP-8000 series synthesizers from the 1990s. Used by acts such as Orbital, Faithless, Vince Clarke and the Pet Shop Boys, to name a few, the JP-8000 is a proper classic. So what we have today, sitting in front of us, is a JT-4000 which has 4 voices, it has an arpeggiator, but most importantly it's got an analog filter, which leads me to ask the question, is it any good for techno? And honestly, I've got to say yes it is good for techno. Now you will need to connect this up to a DAW, and in my case I'm using Ableton Live, and that's because the controls on the synth and the MIDI keyboard aren't up to much. They're better than nothing, but really you want to be controlling this from something a bit more substantial. So that's what I've been doing, and that's what I'm playing with now. And so to this end I have, to make the most out of the control over the JT-4000, I've set up a instrument rack which has got all of the MIDI CC parameters set up in it, so that I can manipulate these from within Ableton Live. These are all going over USB. The audio is coming back into my audio interface, but I'm heavily modulating and heavily manipulating the MIDI CC information, so things like the cutoff for the analog filter and the LFO rates, and they're all being modulated over MIDI. I mean, I'm pretty astonished about how awesome this little box is for £45, about $50 I think, US dollars. It's a marvel for the money. It's got great sound, it's got a good analog filter that can be heavily manipulated, it can be heavily modulated over MIDI. I mean, what's not to love about it? So yeah, this 45 quid little monster is a techno whiz. It's great out of the box, the analog filter makes a real difference, it's really easy to hook up and get some wicked old school techno sounds out of it. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, then you might find this one just as interesting.